Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe and like. And please visit us at barrykibrick.com, where you'll see all the ways that you can become a patron of our mission and help us continue to build a community of seekers who quest for knowledge, information, and most importantly, wisdom. The human voice can penetrate our hearts and our souls, and one of those very special voices belongs to Peter Hollens. Welcome, I'm Barry Kibrick, and Peter is an a cappella singer whose soothing, melodic tones cannot help but affect you in a positive way. But what's also inspiring is how he created his empire by living his passion and combining it with the smart use of new tech platforms. And on this episode, he shares that wisdom so that our passions can lead us to a fulfilling life.
Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Patreon. Patreon helps creators build and run membership businesses, from podcasters to writers, musicians, artists, and more, with tools that allow their fans to become patrons. More information is available at patreon.com. And Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is also made possible by the following contributors. A complete list of funders is available at barrykibrick.com.
Peter, I must tell you, all week, all I've been doing is listening to your music, but the benefit of this all is not only are we going to hear your most melodic voice, but you are going to inform my viewers about this new digital media and how we all can become creators and profit from it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Let's do it.
All right, are you ready, buddy?
I am ready.
All right, let's go. The first thing is, you literally built an entire career through online marketing of your voice.
Yeah, I mean, basically, my product is my music. I created a digital brand. Most of the content I create is all just clones of me on the screen. All the music you hear is just my voice, my mouth. So it's literally 100 to 200 tracks of me singing. And so usually I present that online in a fashion where you either see lots of my head so people understand it, or just lots of my clones. And you can't do that in the real world. I mean, I can't clone myself yet. That would help a lot in post. But yeah, it's all digital. Yeah, and I get to make a living doing it, so it's pretty great.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
And your belief is that you want to share this with everyone. Most people want to keep these things secret. You're just the opposite. You want to let everyone know how to connect, how to engage, and how to foster an online community.
Yeah. Honestly, after about a year and a half of doing this, I started learning actually from a few of my peers that helping one another and viewing each other as peers and not competition. In the music industry, it's very cutthroat, right? You want to win all the rewards, all the awards, you want to be number one on Billboard. But honestly, collaboration is the best way to succeed online. And not only that, it gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. And so basically about the end of 2012, I started learning that I loved helping my peers. And now at this point, I want to educate them. I want to basically teach them how to do what I do.
Well, one of the things you first say is you have to pretend as if you really are a store owner, as if you opened up a shop and this is your business.
Right. Yeah, I think most of the world up until about 2013, 2014, anybody who was anyone online, just like it has always been, lived on top of their pedestal. They wanted to kind of like build their own mansion and never really answer people. And now the online world has set it up so that you respond to people, you comment under their content, you can DM them in Instagram and on Twitter. And it was my belief right from the beginning that I respond to each and every single person, because I'm just a dorky dad that sings, you know? Just because I have millions of followers doesn't mean I'm any different than them. And I really set it out as my goal right from the beginning to answer everyone, which literally killed me, but it was such a great business model because I grew my following one person at a time, and I white-gloved each and every single person. Because why would you ignore somebody that comes into your shop and says, I love this shop, it's so beautiful, what should I do here?
I can't tell you how much I agree with that. In fact, at the end of every one of my shows, I give my and you both, me and you don't like to say the word fans, but I give my community my email address. I want them to talk to me, engage with me, because that is when you really get a sense of being a part of something.
It's honestly, it's the most rewarding way to do it. It's the best way to build a business, and truly, that's how you build a career instead of being like a one-hit wonder at whatever you're doing online.
And you also say, especially now, with everyone so passionate about what they do, this is the way to build a career that you're passionate about as well. It's not just building a career, but it's really fulfilling a passion and a mission.
But I believe now that the internet allows us to connect with anyone in the world, other than like mainland China and parts of Russia, that you have the ability to create as a human being, doing the thing that you love most and put it out there. And as long as you check all the boxes and you learn how to build a business and be an entrepreneur, in my opinion, you should be able to make a living doing it. Now, not everybody can make a full living, but it's so feasible now. And so what my goal is to constantly be releasing music, stay as someone who is, important, legit as far as like how people see me as a singer, whilst at the same time making it my goal in life to educate people to be able to do it at the same time. Because there's so many people out there who are either educators or they're either creators, but I really want to simultaneously be able to be both.
Even the music that you put out, you say, if it doesn't uplift, if it doesn't have that positive spirit against all the regular media nowadays that is literally focusing on almost all the wrong, my wife and I, we use the line from Larry David's show, a whole big bag of wrong. Yeah. You want to create, as a creator, things that uplift people, things that are, and they're not just pie in the sky uplifting. We're talking about things that really move people and touch people. And it's not just a dream, because you're very careful to let everybody know there's a lot of hard work to make this happen.
Oh, it's so important. So the content I create, the goal in the end is just to make people feel emotion. We're glued to our phones now, right? Every human is, from the earliest age that you put it in front of them to be the babysitter. I think it is my duty as someone who has been given a gift to move people, to help them feel real human emotion, whether that's sadness or even like silly fear sometimes, like by doing like Disney villain songs. But yeah, inspire them, uplift them, whether it's make them laugh or cry. And I feel like the human voice can do that better than any other instrument.
Well, you also say that you have to embrace your supporters, your viewers, your listeners in an authentic, compassionate, and loving way. And I am a firm believer, too, that especially in the medium of television, what now television I think we have to define as iPhone vision, iPad vision, whatever other visions you want to call it. But that's the kind of small imagery that penetrates our chakras the best. And if you embrace them in an authentic manner, and by the way, authenticity is very hard to do when you're performing, because it's almost, you have a dual nature. You know, you're a performer. I'm definitely not the same person I am as when I'm sitting in my backyard, but I try to get as close to that as possible.
If you're yourself, no one else is you, right? You're the only you in the entire world, and that's what makes you unique. Even if there's a bunch of other people trying to sing the same songs, trying to create the same vlogs, trying to, like, what makes it unique is that it's you.
And may I share your uniqueness? I say this because in the end, these are your words. We are in the business of making people happy. So what I'd like to do right now is give them a little taste of your music, and I've been playing this one over and over again because I just fell in love with Loch Lomond. So I'm going to let the viewers get a chance to hear a moment of that right now.
Awesome.
By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, you take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afar ye. But me and my true love will never meet again, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
So Peter, they see that. Give your website out so people can know where to find you. I want them to be able to experience more and more of you.
Yeah, it's just Peter Hollens, which is Hollens. My great-great-great-grandfather couldn't spell, so he changed it accidentally. But yeah, peterhollens.com. Honestly, if you just type in Peter and acapella anywhere on the internet, my silly face will show up everywhere. So.
All right. You also say that when you're in this form of the business, you have to show to your audience that you're listening to them.
Oh,
so
my
their
gosh.
feedback is as important as what you're putting out.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I would say in some instances much more important. Not only showing them that you're listening, but engaging in them, right? Being someone that has any pedestal to stand on at all online, I think one of the most powerful things that we have at our disposal is being able to crowdsource information, whether that's on Instagram or Twitter, or in my aspect on the end of a video, when I ask people what they want me to do, and I collect that data. They ask me, they request songs down below. I get my team to take all those votes, put them in Excel spreadsheets, and we have tens of thousands of votes collected. And when things come up to the top, I do those songs. I've screen captured hundreds of their requests. I put them on screen. I show them that I did the song because of them. And I feel like it turns into, so it's not like I'm just saying that I do this music because of them, and I do it for them, and that they're part of my journey, but it's proofs in the pudding.
But let's go back now to that making a living, because there are certain platforms now that do help you make a living doing this, and get into a little bit about that.
Sure. So as a singer and as a musician, you have to have your hand in as many cookie jars as possible. And so not only do I make revenue from digital sales across every single platform you could think of, Amazon, iTunes, everything, but physical sales as well, which is crazy considering this is like 2019 and people are still buying physical albums. And then, you have your brand deals that all influencers get once in a while. But the thing that has really helped me the most are platforms and membership sites like Patreon that have allowed me to really build an entire business model, basically, once again, with my supporters and my community that cares the most about me. Basically, every single time I make a piece of content, I get to go onto that platform, click a button, and it basically pays for itself and for my entire team. I mean, it's amazing what the creator revolution is allowing us to do now, and these amazing companies that are popping up and allowing us to create content for a small group of people that love what we do, and create this beautiful circular cycle of, I don't know, passion and love and respect, and honestly, it flows so well.
And you even let us know, and this is so important because I want to read this directly from your words. It's crucial to remember that our self-worth is not completely revolved around how many followers we have or how many people like our post. I fell into that trap at the very beginning. At the end, you get the skin that's so tough, it almost feels like fun. In fact, I think you have the same theory. I engage with the trolls and the haters, and it's the best way. I love it. I love to say, well, what they say about me, I'm not even going to say on the air. But I always come back, and I do so with kindness. I don't take offense, and you'd be surprised. Every once in a while, they become your most loyal viewers.
Yes, I 100% agree. I think fighting hate with love is so powerful. I wish society did it more, because honestly, it works so much better than fighting hate with hate.
And you made an observation that I have now observed for the last 23 years that I've been doing this show. When I'm feeling down, and I know I read about you feeling the same way, it's our viewers, it's our listeners, it's our readers, it's whoever you are. They're the ones who love what you do. They boost you back up. And you even said the hardest thing is, why can't we always stay at that level?
Yeah. I mean, it's normal human cycle, right? That we have this like wavelength, and we got a little bit of mania, we got a little bit of depression, and the things that do perk me up, honestly, are these amazing comments and emails that I usually, honestly, can't even digest as real, right? Some of the things that I read about people saying that they're like in a bathroom, they're about to end their life, and then my song came on, and then they changed. And like, there's things that you're like, that's not real, that can't be possible. But as somebody who has fought depression my entire life, having the state of mind to like think about those things when I'm low has been incredibly worthwhile. And not only is like these careers that we're building online so powerful from like a financial standpoint, if you create the thing, your community that you've fostered pays or supports for that thing, but it's so much bigger than that. And I think that's almost one of the most beautiful parts of it, right? It's not just money, but it's like the whole reason we're here.
It just happened to me. In fact, this week I got 2 emails very similar to that expression. No one was killing themselves or anything like that, and no one got revived by my show, but they heard something that I said when they were in a very severe mood, and it made them feel better. And at first you get excited, but then you realize how humbling that is, that not only me, but that we all now have that effect on each other. That is the human connection. And the digital world, even though it separates us now, we're not eye to eye all the time. Well, literally eye to eye, but yet with media, sometimes we're even closer than we are when we're right next to a person. So there's that negative aspect, like you were concerned about everyone on their phone and the digital, but if we use it right, it's like any technology, it's a lifesaver, not a life destroyer. Right.
It's so powerful that now everybody really truly does have a camera in their pocket, right? And whatever that they say and whatever that they put up online can be something that affects someone else or the world positively or negatively. And I wish each and every single one of us would appreciate that more and understand that power. And that perspective is something that I wish I could attain every single time I go to work.
Yeah, I do too. And you even say, when I'm in the zone, these are your words, and I'm able to open up, I find life so much more enjoyable. I find myself wondering, why can't I be in that space all the time? And that's when you gave that sample. But it is, we get that love, and we give that love. And when you do both of those things in any form of your life. And by the way, let's even take it out of the digital age. Perform that when you go into the factory. Perform that thought when you work in the shop, when you work in your office. If you give that, you'll get that.
Amen. I couldn't agree more.
You said, though, something interesting to me now, that you're not only a musician, you're not only an educator, but you almost have to view yourself like a Silicon Valley startup now.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
Yes. Well, I feel like every single creator online, anybody who wants to create something and put it out there for mass consumption, needs to view themselves in a way that allows them the ability to step outside of their day-to-day, whether or not that's, hey, I need to put in 3 hours of work at my home, mowing the lawn or cleaning the house chores. And I mean, there's so many different ways we could talk about that exact same thing, but even just from a pure time versus value perspective, where can I spend my time during the day or during the week concentrating on the things that I love, the things that change the world the most, the thing that makes the most value for my business, and plug in holes, whether that is bartering with a friend or a colleague, or bringing in a nanny, or bringing in someone to clean the house once a month, so that you can maximize the value that you're creating for yourself and your community and the world. And I feel like Silicon Valley specifically has been able to do that so well for the last few decades. And so, yeah, when I'm talking to creators and trying to change their brain, gosh, especially musicians, I love us so much, but we are almost the least intelligent when it comes to business acumen from any other creators I speak to, because we're so fixated on going into the cabin in the woods and creating our masterpiece and coming back 2 years later and just being so fixated on just the art, when in the end, if they were able to balance it at a more 50-50 perspective of running a business, because that's what they are, and then creating their art, they would be able to be so much more successful. And in the end, I view success as being able to create for a living and do what I love for a living and provide for my family and be able to motivate and inspire other people. Not everybody's view of success is that. However, I feel that a lot of people should change their viewpoint of success away from the followers and the fame and all of that, much closer to mine, because I think I'm right. And I think if you do focus on what I view as success as, if you were to focus more on building a business and less on just focusing on like the artsy-fartsy stuff, which I love because, yay, I sing for a living, you would immediately be able to be so much more successful, not only in how far your potential will go, but the fact that you're not going to have to rely on the fat man smoking a cigar at the top of the tower, right? That there's no one telling you or stopping you from succeeding other than yourself. So it's kind of like, get off your arse, look into the mirror, and that's the only person that's stopping you from succeeding. So, yeah, I'm ADD. I don't even remember how we got there, but that's a little bit of what I think.
Well, I tell you, I know how we got there. It's because you are a wonderful singer, and they're going to hear more of your voice, and you are a wonderful educator, teacher, and advisor. And I thank you, Peter, for joining us so much. It was such a thrill. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for joining us. There is so much more information about how to be an entrepreneur in our digital age that Peter and I are going to continue our discussion in our afterwards segment, which is online at barrykibrick.com. Plus, feel free to ask me anything about this episode or to listen to our brand new podcast. And to do so, just email me at barry@barrykibrick.com. And like Peter said before and I said, I promise to personally reply to every email, do my best to answer any questions, and send you the link to our podcasts so you can enjoy our show anywhere and anytime. But before we do go, we're going to give you another taste of his most beautiful voice with his performance of Shenandoah.
Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is made possible in part by Patreon. Patreon helps creators build and run membership businesses, from podcasters to writers, musicians, artists, and more, with tools that allow their fans to become patrons. More information is available at patreon.com. And Between the Lines with Barry Kibrick is also made possible by the following contributors. A complete list of funders is available at barrykibrick.com.
I'm bound to leave you.